Hey everyone, I'm Trevor, and today we're at Disneyland because the hot season is upon us, and we're going to share with you my best tips to beat the heat. So let's get going. Our first tip to beat the heat here at Disneyland is actually going to be to get out of the sun when you are feeling overheated. Find some air conditioning. Where can you find air conditioning throughout the park? One of them is right here behind me. Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. Let's go ahead and poke inside here real quick. In here they have refreshing air conditioning, a lot of things and portraits and paintings and dioramas for you to look at while you enjoy what this room has to offer. You can just look around at things. They do have a few seats in here, not many, but a few if you need a place to sit down in the air conditioning, but don't want to actually go in the show itself. But over here they have a diorama of the Capitol building, and behind these doors are the actual show itself. I don't remember how long it is. I want to guess maybe 20-ish minutes. And it's all air conditioned, so it's a great place if you want to rest too. Like, you know, get a little snooze. Some other places for relaxation and air conditioning include the Main Street Cinema, Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, either the Royal Theater or the Fantasyland Theater. Now, those aren't air conditioned, but they are shaded and they're sit-down shows. So it's a chance to get off your feet, get out of the sun, as well as some long air-conditioned attractions, such as Pirates of the Caribbean, It's a Small World, and Haunted Mansion. Tip number 2 is to stay hydrated. Of course, you can bring your own water bottles. You can purchase water bottles here in the park, but I want you to also be aware that any quick service restaurant here at the Disneyland Resort will provide free water upon request. Just walk up and ask. Don't worry about going standby, just go to the mobile order pickup line and come in here and ask. And they'll hand you a small cup of water, usually this size. They usually have them pre-filled, so the ice might already be melted, but you can get free water. I can feel some ice in here. Now, in order to stay hydrated, you actually have to be drinking water. No coffee, tea, soda, alcohol. All of these types of beverages are actually dehydrating. Even though you're taking liquid into your body, you are parching it and not giving it the essential hydration it needs. So please, please, please keep hydration with water in mind. Now, if you want to know where there are some free refill stations throughout the park for filling up your water bottles, you can go to Alien Pizza Planet, Galactic Grill, and Red Rose Tavern. All 3 of those, oh, and Rancho del Zocalo, all 4 of those actually have little spouts that you can just fill up water without having to get in line anywhere. Tip number 3 is more or less something just to keep in mind, but California is beautiful, sunny, clear blue skies 90% of the year. Because of that, almost all of our ride queues are outdoors. Now, some are in varying degrees of shade depending on the time of the day, but for the most part, expect that you will be standing in the sun during your waits in rides. There are, however, some rides with mostly indoor queues, and I'll try to list them for you. The first is Star Tours. The adventure continues. The next is Space Mountain, then Indiana Jones, Rise of the Resistance, Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and Roger Rabbit Cartoon Spin. The majority of the line for these attractions is inside. Not all of the line, but most of it. The rest of the rides in the park will have mostly outdoor lines, so expect to be standing in a lot of sun. To help with that is tip number 4, and 5 potentially. 4 is to bring glasses and hats. So I lived in Australia for a year, and my son's school had a policy, because Australia deals with this more than some other places, but no hat, no play. That was the rule. Everybody wears hats in Australia to protect from UV. Also, tip number 5, make sure you bring lots of sunscreen. You will need to reapply multiple times throughout the day. Even if it is not incredibly sunny, I still recommend that you put on some sunscreen. The UV rays will get through the cloud cover here, and you still can get a sunburn without any sun. The key here is to protect your skin, protect your eyes, protect yourself. Tip number 6 is to do whatever it takes to cool yourself down. One of the best decisions that I've ever made on hot days is to just take an ice cold cup of water, you know, those free waters that you can get from the restaurants, and just dump it on my head. Ask for 2 or 3 of those cups if you need. 1 or 2 to drink, 1 to dump on your head. The head is where we generate our body temperature. So if your head is hot, your body will be hot. If your head is cool, your body will be cool. Dump some water on it. I sometimes will dump water in my hat. That's another great way. Fill it up the hat with water from a water fountain, and then just, you know, put it on your head soaking wet. Anything that you can do to cool your head down. Additionally, I've seen a lot of people with those wet towels that, you know, they're a special type of material. You get them wet, you drape them around your neck. I don't know that those work all that well, but I've also seen people with the fans that wrap around your neck, and there's a fan here and a fan here, and it's blowing air onto your face. Additionally, you can get some water spray bottles. You know what I'm talking about. The one with the fan and the water spray, and you know, you spritz water on your face. Anything that you can do to keep yourself cool. Another part of our body that regulates temperature is our feet, which is why I'm wearing flip-flops. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that unless you walk a lot, and I mean walk a lot, that you're used to the walking here. And you're only here for a day max, because you need to wear shoes if you're here 2 or more days. Your feet will kill if you wear flip-flops. Tip number 7 is to purchase some refreshing treats and drinks. Over here at Maurice's Treats, you can get the Boysen Apple Freeze, which I just couldn't help but get today because I absolutely love frozen beverages. This is the Boysen Apple Freeze, and it is gonna be refreshing to cool you down. It's ice. Additionally, you can get some ice cream from Gibson Girl Ice Cream Parlor. You can also go to the Tropical Hideaway and get yourself some Dole Whip. Highly recommend. Love Dole Whip. Classic Disney snack. You cannot go wrong with pineapple Dole Whip. Now, normally I would tell you to escape the heat that you should go ride some water rides here at Disneyland, but with Splash Mountain closed, the only one of them that's open is Pirates of the Caribbean. And at the moment, it is temporarily closed. There's no one going in the attraction, but it is the only water ride at Disneyland where you can get a little bit wet, and you will get a little bit wet on the 2 drops that they have here. Just like some sprinkles, you know, nothing like major, not Splash Mountain soaked. Of course, you can go over to Disney California Adventure, and you can go on Grizzly River Run. That is going to be your big splash for Disneyland. The next thing to keep in mind is what you wear. I'm wearing a quick dry shirt. It's a very thin, light, airy material that if it gets wet, it dries really quickly. You can also get shorts in that material as well, which I highly recommend because that will allow you, if you get sweaty, to dry quickly and not be walking around soaking wet in sweat. Also, the thinner material just makes it so that you don't get as hot to begin with. So plan what types of shirts, what types of shorts you want to wear whenever you come. Pick cooler items. I forgot there is one more water ride. It's called the Davy Crockett Explorer Canoes. Yeah, you're actually canoeing. And while you're not supposed to, you do get wet from the paddles. Just don't intentionally splash people with those paddles. And something that always mind boggles me is when people make their matching family shirts to Disney in the middle of the summer and the heat be black. All their family in black. Black is the worst color. It absorbs heat. It makes you hotter. Do not pick the color black. Pick something else. Especially go with pastels. Right next to the Plaza Inn is the first aid station, which is our next tip. If you are beginning to experience any symptoms of heat stroke or, you know, just being too hot, dehydration, that sort of thing, be sure to come over here to First Aid. And I don't exactly know what they'll be able to do for you, other than have you sit down, watch you, and, you know, have you drink a lot of water. But this is the place that you're going to want to come if you're experiencing any health problems here in the park. It's that brick building, the First Aid building. And once again, here is Main Street, Jolly Holiday Bakery, the castle, the Plaza Inn, and the First Aid station is right back there. And our last tip is to take a break in the middle of the afternoon. If you are staying at a hotel, be it the Grand Californian behind me, the Disneyland Hotel, or a local Good Neighbor Hotel, At about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you should be headed back to the hotel. Take at least a 2-hour break in the heat of the day. What I strongly recommend doing is waking up and showing up at the park when it opens at 8 a.m. for rope drop, and then taking that afternoon break, going back into the park until park close. That way you can enjoy the evening when the sun is down, and you can enjoy the morning when the lines are the shortest and the sun isn't quite as high up in the sky yet. If you do not have a hotel, either because you stayed locally or it's the last day of your trip, you can come in here to the Grand Californian behind me. They have plenty of seats in there. It's air conditioned. There's a little TV for the kids to watch Mickey cartoons. They have a pianist playing music. It's so relaxing. Even if you don't need a nap, your kids don't need to nap, you still need the break. The air conditioning, the sitting, down in a room to let yourself cool off, I highly recommend it. Well, that was it for our time here today at Disneyland. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Then click this video to keep watching. If you have any recommendations or questions, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.